Hello all, welcome to Alyx's World, a safe space for wrestling fans like you. I am your host, Alyx, just Alyx, and today's interview is with WWE Hall of Famer Madusa, aka Alundra Blayze, a pioneer for women's wrestling, someone we all agree was ahead of her time. I am excited to talk about her autobiography as well as run down her career right here on this channel. So before we get to that interview, let's get a quick word from our sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Exter. In today's age, old leather wallets are a thing of the past. People are looking for something more efficient. That's where Exter comes in. It can fit in your front pocket or any other space convenient for your access. It is the perfect smart wallet for minimalists that only carry essential items such as credit cards and IDs. It also has a cool pop-up feature that allows you to see what's inside, so you always know what you're getting out. Plus, it comes with its own tracker that connects with your phone, so if you ever misplace it, you can instantly find it. Amazing designs, amazing features, all at amazing prices. And today, if you click the link down below and use the promo code JustAlyx, you can get 40% off any purchase you make. I truly believe this is a great gift and it's changing the way people carry their items. So don't hesitate. Use the link below and get you a wallet today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to bring to you a three-time women's champion, a WWE Hall of Famer, a former cruiserweight champion in WCW, a pioneer for women's wrestling. You know her as Madusa, but most of you will know her as WWE Hall of Famer, Alundra Blayze. How you doing?
Hey, when you feel the heat. Let's see, when you see the blaze, you're going to feel the heat. How's that?
Oh, that was your catchphrase back then?
Yes, I almost forgot it.
Oh, that's so good. How you doing, by the way?
I'm doing great, thank you. Just gearing up for this awesome book tour of mine. So I'm very, very excited for that. It's called The Woman Who Would Be King, my first book, biography. So we are like scheduling all of these stops for the signings. My first hit is at WrestleCon. So I'm very excited, nervous, scared, and excited all in one.
Can you talk more about what this book means to you personally now that it's out?
Yeah, I mean, it's a multitude of things. It's a woman that persevered, that was against all odds and should have been a statistic, but wasn't. And I could have chose many things that were wrong because just of the era and the woman in two huge male-dominated entertainment fields, and the door constantly shut and told no, and women looked at as just an enhancement or just a sex object. And so I'm really, really blessed and lucky to be here today, to live through it, to talk about it, and be happy. That's the key, and that there is happiness at the end. I think that as we get older and we experience life in different ways, some people have amazing lives. They have moms and dads and family and siblings, which are perfect. And then there's that come from broken homes and situations or the environment that's just awful and toxic. And unfortunate, they choose a different path or a different life, or maybe they choose no life at all. So I've seen it, I've heard it, almost became it. And that's what this book is. And it's inspiring, it's motivating, it'll make you happy, cry, piss you off, and then it'll circle back and make you happy again. It is not just a wrestling book. So people that may get disappointed thinking it's just wrestling, I'm sorry. Hence the word biography. So it's your whole life, right?
Absolutely.
So a lot of people know me from wrestling, and I mean, I had 20 years of driving monster trucks. So I mean, trying to fit 40 years of, entertainment in one book is very difficult. So I educate people a lot on the monster truck industry, because after this book, there's going to be another book just about all of my awesome things about monster trucks. And then there's probably going to be another specific book just about wrestling to get into some good stuff. And then, of course, the pre-readers that receive the ARCs to this book, meaning that ECW Press is my publisher, and they're out of Canada. And so when they approached me, I was very excited, and it was during the pandemic. What else do you do during a pandemic except game on Twitch and write a book, right?
Yep.
So I was really excited. And so, heck yeah. So for a year and a half, I put this book together, and here we are. It's finally coming out in March. It's ready for pre-order on Amazon right now. So reserve your spot to get at least a hardcover. That's what that is for. And I will be signing them at WrestleCon on Friday from 9 to 2 and Saturday. That'll be my first signing of the book. So I'm very, very jacked about that.
And people who are interested can look at the link down below in the description to order yourself a book right now.
Thank you.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
I would like to touch on something you already mentioned. You are someone that many consider to be ahead of her time. Nowadays, female wrestlers aspire to be what you were. It's crazy when you really think about it, because back then that wasn't the case, because like you said, it was an era that was more driven by men. Women weren't appreciated unless they showed some skin. That's how it was. But now you got women literally main eventing WrestleMania. So how does it feel to see this level of appreciation for women's wrestling now?
That's a great question and a great outlook on it, because I had to fight to even get my name on the marquee, because it was main event, semi-main event, blah, blah, blah. And then a lot of us were and more. So that's what I was. And for me to even get my name mentioned, like for even the very last match, was a struggle. So to see this all evolve, even the women before me in the golden era, like the Moolahs and the Joan Byers and all of them, they were amazing. If it wasn't for them women, and then there was like this mosh of Wendy Richter's, Sherry Martell's, and Velvet McIntyre's and stuff. And then you had your Jumping Bomb Angels and your Glamour Girls, which was Judy Martin and Leilani Kai, which are absolutely phenomenal. Those two sets of tag teams need to be in the Hall of Fame, because they're the ones that kickstarted WrestleMania 1 with Wendy Richter, and she had Cyndi Lauper in her corner, right? So people need to do their due diligence about the women if they want to talk about women today, really. So every era evolves, and I like to believe that it gets better, because we don't like to go into the past, but we like to look in the past, because those are called memories, and we learn from our past. We learn from our memories, and we learn from history. Now, the biggest thing in the world today is it seems like everybody wants to erase history, and I don't understand why, because history is what made us where we're at today. If it's good, bad, or indifferent, we learn from it. It's not like we're going to repeat something horribly bad, though maybe the government does, but hey, I know I'm a good person. I don't like to repeat bad stuff, but I like to have history to remind me what was, what to do, what not to do, or even pull out some of the good and enhance it in today's world. So fast forward, we have all these different eras. So after the golden era was the lost era. It was mine. It was my era. There was when Vince believed in women. It was sat dormant for a while, many years. And he said, I need to bring back women. I want some kick-ass women. And I was brought to them, and they're like, oh my God, let's do this. So doing so, he was going through some, very turbulent times. And he was going through the steroid scandals. He was going through the personal scandals, the IRS scandals, and he almost had to close his door. So this shows you how much they were really paying attention to their champion when I got the FedEx letter in the mail saying, we don't need your service anymore, when I was on my way to go to a gig for them, right? Like, what the hell? So that's why I call it the lost era, because it was just there for about 5 years, and then it was gone. And then the woman's, title sat dormant for a while, and then it went into the Attitude Era. And then we know what that was about. It was kick-ass, but I didn't like how the women were treated or portrayed. Now, the women had a choice, and a lot of them chose to stay in there. But the way they were treated was, a lot of it was, I just didn't like it. But kudos to the women that stuck it out, because they believed in what they wanted to. A lot of them were wrestlers. A lot of them were there for other reasons. And then to the next era was the divas, and then today the women's era. So it's almost like full circle. And so to get back to what you were saying, Alyx, is today's women is like where my style was. I was so ahead of my time, from living in Japan. honing my craft from there, and then bringing it forward back to the States, knowing that I needed to change the trajectory of women's wrestling and make it true, smart, and damn it, I was a wrestler, and get some respect. And that's what I did. And that's exactly what I did. And so now today, Alyx, we have women headlining. We have women that just signed $1 million contracts for the first time. Why it took 50 years, I don't know. But we're there.
We're here.
So that's good. So hey, I'm glad I was a part of history. Like I said, history is important. But I had this great conversation with this guy named Jerry, and he said, Deuce, you elevated so much and made so much history happen. And I said, you know what? I am the only piece of talent that WWE is using within the women under a talent, like a Legends contract from that, lost era, golden era. So I'm like representing all of us older women talent.
True.
But when you think about it, I'm the only one really that got to wrestle Moolah. And some of the women then, Wendy Richter's, that era, my era, the Diva era. And I mean, now I'm working with NXT once in a while. So it's great to be across the platform. And so maybe I am, let's see, what was the word he used? Credibility conqueror. I thought it was great, right?
Okay.
I thought that was cool. So I love today's women. I love where they're going. I truly would love to see more of not script, but like more stories for them. Maybe more women in the, like half women, half men, maybe on a card would be great. So, yeah.
Well, that leads into my next question. So I had some fans submit questions for you, and I would like to start this one off from two people. Their names are AJ and Becky. They have a YouTube channel called A&B Convos Wrestling Edition, and here's their question. They say, given how far women's wrestling has come, do you feel the current major leagues, they're saying AEW, WWE, and so forth, are treating the women the same as the men?
Well, here's my thought on that. When you say treat, what do you mean? So it took a long time to get where we're at, just like any movement, right? I mean, 20 years ago, men still thought women should be, pregnant and barefoot in the damn kitchen, right? Yeah. Thank God that has changed. So, treat. I will tell you, working with WWE, that there is no different how they treat women and men there, as far as respect, the having the floor, getting to train. They're getting $1 million contracts now. However, I think the only thing when I say treat is maybe having more women matches on a card. So, and I think better storylines too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that would be changes you yourself would like to see.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if we're going to have Raw or SmackDown, I mean, instead of having just one woman's match, I mean, that's what we see a lot of. At least there's one thrown in there, right? Yeah. Why not have 3?
I think this past Monday, we had a good 2 or 3 on
2.
there.
Yeah, very seldom, though. But I want to see regular. That would entail that, hey, they have to write some storylines, right? So
I did an interview with Maria, and she said something that I thought was poignant. She said, I would like to get to a point where we're not even thinking about it anymore, where it's just like women are just naturally seen on TV. We don't think about, oh my God, we had 3 matches featuring women. No, it's just there.
Yeah, she's got a great point. But here's where I'm probably going to get heat. Hey, that's why they call me the Queen of Carnage. I say it like it is and how I feel. Now, these are strictly my opinions, not talking about how other people feel. But can an all-women's organization be profitable? Alyx, yes or no?
I have no idea, quite frankly. Do you believe?
Why not? See, tough question. Okay, don't answer. See? So, okay, here's the thing. So we have WOW, right? Mm-hmm. And they're backed by mega ownership of money. They've got sponsors, but can they actually hold a full Raw night card, a full SmackDown card, and a full WrestleMania card and pay-per-view? Are the women there yet? But is it the fault of their own? So here's my circle back on that.
Yeah.
We're only as good as the creator. Now, this image here, I'm only as good as I project. I'm only as good as I speak. I'm only as good as what's behind me. I'm only as good as Alyx's podcast equipment. So we're a team.
Yes.
So the girls, the women within AEW, WWE, Impact, all of them out there, they're only as good as their team. So they're only as good as the writers. They're only as good as the promoters. They're only as good as the sponsors. They're only as good as that ring. If the ring breaks when they're having a match, well, then that kind of kiboshes the match too, right? So it's a combination. And then, most of all, you're only as good as your own talent. So how you project, how you speak, how you handle yourself, how you're, with other people in public. It's a total package. So you are a brand.
Yeah.
And that's what it's come down to. You're a walking brand. As soon as you leave your house, be aware, keep your head on a swivel.
So to answer your question, I believe it is possible, but like you said, there needs to be a certain level of talent on there. Like if you had a Ronda Rousey, a Charlotte Flair, a Becky Lynch, and Alita, and all these people on one roster, for sure, you could sell out pay-per-views. For sure, you can sell out arenas. Now, I'm fancy booking a roster of some of the greatest women of all time to answer your question. But I'm saying, is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? I have no idea.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Look for it.
Why doesn't the women's WNBA sell out ever?
Well, you hit me hard with that one.
The truth is the truth. It's an all-women's league. Why doesn't it sell out? So women don't appeal to the majority. Guys, you people, it is what it is. The problem is, and it is a problem because it doesn't appeal to the vast majority, right? Yeah. However, why, Alyx, does MMA women's sell out? Why? I would love to hear your honest, why. Think about it. Why do they and not the women in WNBA? This has nothing to do with religion, race, nothing like this. We're talking women in sports.
I mean, they're doing what the men are doing, and they're showcasing that they're, if not as good, they can be better. So I would think under those circumstances, it would sell out, right?
I mean, some of those women, as far as I'm concerned, in the WNBA are better than the guys.
I mean, I'm comparing it to like Ronda Rousey, all those people that have made a name for themselves. So,
okay, we know all of that. But why does that sell out and not the women's WNBA? I got my theory, but I want to hear yours.
I really don't have any.
This goes back to why women's wrestling doesn't. Yeah. So I feel that the women on the MMA is because it is brass. It is hard hitting. It is believable, and it is gutsy, and it is just, it is badass. And who's sitting in the audience more than anything?
Men.
So who's sitting in the audience for wrestling mainly? Men. Okay. So every single woman that comes out to the ring, their hair is done, their makeup is thick, and they look beautiful, and every piece of clothing is perfect, right? MMA, it's authentic. It's real. Like this here, like I have nothing on. Except like the mascara, the eyelashes. That's what people want. People want real now. We have been so smoked and full of BS in the last few years that people are sick of it, right? Yeah. People want something that's real. And now people know that pro wrestling's entertainment. And if they don't, well, oops, they're under a rock. But and WNBA, what is that? That's competitive again. That's competition, but it's not working. And I'm pissed because I love basketball. And I just don't understand it. Like, and I keep asking myself, why this and not that, and what's going on with wrestling? So, wrestling's entertainment, and again, that's a team effort. So, if we can build it up to at least half the card and keep it there and see what happens and look at past ratings and future ratings, we're going to have our answer.
Yeah.
Full stop. I'm done.
That's going to cause a lot of conversations on the internet when it hits.
No, I mean, honestly, I'm open and I'm honest. And this is not like to get muddied watered or anything or, conflict. It's just, that's how I see it. I'm not voicing for other people. This is just me. And I think that if they were given a chance in WWE or AEW. God, AEW needs to get their crap straight and give them more of the card. Let's watch what happens in the ratings, because I know the women can deliver in WWE. And I mean, half of the talent in AEW and some of those women over there are badass themselves.
Right.
And they deserve everything. But if they're going to be writing their storylines, then they need to up it and give them half the card and see what happens. It's the only true way we're going to find out. Okay, so what else you want to know?
So many female wrestlers talk about you being a big influence on why they started wrestling. But the question is, who inspired you to start wrestling in the business?
I never dreamed of being a wrestler, and nor was it my aspirations to become one. I was actually put myself through school to become a nurse. So I was going to mend bones, and then I ended up breaking them. So anyway, there's that. But I mean, I'm from Minnesota, so we always say it's the water because so many greats came from Minnesota, right? And the AWA, Vern Gagne, and actually Wahoo McDaniel is the one that gave me a call and said, hey, we've been scoping you out on the independent scene. Girl, would you like to come to AWA? And I'm like, oh, yeah. Heck yeah. And so that's in my book, by the way. The great stories are in there, so you have to read it. But yeah, that's how that happened. It was absolutely amazing. And that's how it started. I mean, I was a big jock in school as a gymnast. I ran track and field. My whole life I've been a gearhead. I ride Harleys and dirt bikes and four-wheelers. And yeah, so I love life. Probably answers the thing about monster trucks. So that's badass. Let me tell you, 1,800 horsepower underneath your ass driving one of those. Oh, daddy.
Wow.
So good.
Shout out to Minnesota. But hey, gotta get some love to Texas as well. We got
I love Texas. My husband and I, we were living in El Paso for years. I loved El Paso, by the way. Oh my God. So good. And because he's military, he just retired after like 31 years. And so, yeah, we moved from Texas and then to Florida.
By the way, shout out and rest in peace to the late great Eddie Guerrero. He comes from El Paso, Texas too. So
yeah, right. Speaking of Guerrero, Jericho's Cruise is right now, and I saw Vicky's on it. She is a hoot. Let me tell you about Vicky Guerrero. She is so badass. Beautiful human being, Vicky. And I thought she was so good with her character on WWE, and she does not get the recognition she deserves at all. And she was so good at that character. Excuse me. I popped every time. It was so good. I loved it. She was good.
I've loved all her stuff from when she was general manager to when she was managing. She's awesome. I love everything about her. I might have to interview her one day.
You will. As soon as she gets off the cruise, you should hit her up. Tell her I sent you. I'm hoping to get on the Jericho cruise in 2024, so that would be awesome.
That would be so dope.
Very dope. I'll bring my books.
So this next question comes from Al, who lives in Brooklyn. He says, before you worked in WWE, you worked in WCW alongside Paul Heyman in the Dangerous Alliance. So he asks, how was it working with Heyman? And do you consider yourself a Paul Heyman girl?
I was the first Paul Heyman girl. Oh, yeah. So if it wasn't for Paul, I probably wouldn't be sitting here really and giving me the opportunity. He saw so much and he kept at it. He kept throwing me out there in front of the camera. He kept throwing me in the, in front of the microphone. He kept giving me that opportunity and that chance. Missy Hyatt and I mean, they tried so hard to get Missy Hyatt and I to hate each other, but her and I would go back in the dressing room and just laugh. It ain't working. And it was so great working with her too. Paul just saw something in me and he believed in me. And then he brought me into the Dangerous Alliance, which is a very underrated faction and it deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
I hope it does get there.
The Dangerous Alliance. Heck yeah. I mean, look at all of them. You've got Arn Anderson. You got Rick Rude.
Steve Austin.
Steve Austin.
Come on. Yeah.
Myself, Bobby Eaton, and Paul Heyman. Hey, dude, do you know look at how powerful that is?
Before they were megastars. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was so good working with Steve too. Steve Austin. Wow. I remember I always had a crush on him, but I could never say anything to him because when he was with one big boob blonde haired girl, then he was with a different one and I never had my chance. I thought I did because I was blonde haired, big boob back then, but no, didn't work.
Hey, life works out in different ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it worked out the best. I'm married to an amazing man.
I want to talk about your run in WWF when you first were champion. What was
Mhm.
that moment like? After you won the tournament, you were the first champion to come back for the new era. What did that moment mean to you to hold that belt?
Well, to hold a title is pretty awesome. It's not just it's not just the appeal. It's being chosen from the company. So when you are actually the world champion of one of these organizations or federations, it's actually handpicked and an honor. Because if you look at who a champion is, that means that company believes in you to represent and to carry and to hold and to facilitate an era of excellence. I say.
Mhm. When you talk about that era of excellence, what particular matches stand out to you as maybe your favorites? Do you have a particular favorite that stand out?
Well, they're all good. All of them helped definitely escalate my career. So it's not just one person, but I did have the most matches with Bull Nakano. I mean, she kicked
Oh
my
my
butt.
goodness. All of them were great. I've seen a couple of them, by the way.
Oh my God, she was amazing. Her and I really we couldn't really, didn't speak in the ring. So a lot of that was just, ad lib and going with it. That's what a beautiful dance is.
Wow, man.
Yeah,
Man,
right.
it's just crazy. And this next question, we gotta talk about it. The infamous moment when you went to WCW and you dropped the title in the trash bin. And John Woodcock wants to know if you could go back, would you have done things differently?
Well, it's in my book.
Gotta read it. Oh man.
Dude, that whole great story's in there. Yeah. I can't just like blow my lid there. Oh, heck no.
That was a
It's
good
in my
question.
book. But yeah, it's an amazing story. Eric Bischoff and I will go back and forth. He'll say that I called him and I say he called me because, and there's a great little line in there when he called me when I was sitting on the toilet. So it's great.
Read the book, guys. Read the book. Wow.
Read the book. Yes, Alex. Alex,
Wow.
thank you. Yeah.
So, listen, after your 20-year absence from wrestling because of that moment, you were reached out to in 2015 to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Mhm.
So, who reached out to you first off? But also, what did it mean for you to be inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Well, when I retired in 2001 and I got a call in 99 to drive monster trucks, my life changed. And I was fed up and just, jaded. And I was good to wrestling. Wrestling wasn't good to me. There was a few people that were very good to me, but wrestling wasn't good to me. And I loved it. I ate and slept it, and that was my life. But I knew it was time to retire around 2001 because I didn't like the direction it was going.
Right.
And I was driving monster truck. So around 2015, I got a call. It was actually a text. I was sitting in a driver's meeting for the monster trucks and getting ready to go race. And I got a few texts and they told me to call the office. And I thought some fan got a hold of my number and I was bummed out and they kept calling. I'm like, God, why? I haven't talked to them in 15, 20 years. What do they want?
Right.
And so so finally, they're like, please call us. This is the talent relations. And I'm like, maybe they just need my new address or something for tax reasons, whatever. And so I was getting ready and putting on my fire suit and everything. And I called, it was Carano, and they said, we would love to have you in the Hall of Fame. And I nearly dropped everything. And I said, are you sure? And my first words were, does Vince know?
Oh,
That was my exact words.
man.
And he started laughing. He goes, we're past that. Vince is way past that. He really wants you. And I'm like, okay. And so,
Wow.
yeah, it was like, wow.
Well, that
Holy
was going to be my
crap.
follow-up question. Like, was it hard to mend fences with Vince after what
No,
happened?
no,
Wow.
not at that moment. Not at 2015. No, I always was a Vince's girl. I was a company girl. I was one of the ones that were always on time, never took the drugs, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So I was that girl. Vince always treated me well. I mean, he never, despite what people say, he was good to me. And yeah, except for the fact that, they got rid of me. So what the hell? It
Oh,
happens. It's part of the business, but I didn't like it because it was just the women that got let go. And again, there I am sitting there staring at a wall going, why the women? I was pissed. And so for that reason. Not because I got let go, is because why just women again? So again, I was fighting that battle. And it's all in my book.
Check out the book.
Hashtag it's in my book.
It's in your book.
Yes.
There are other hashtags I do want to ask you about, because around this time, this is when we start to get the upsurgence of female wrestling becoming serious. Like, women deserve better, give divas a chance. When you were seeing this was when Charlotte, I believe Sasha, and Becky had first entered the roster, but women were only getting like 30 seconds to a minute. When you were seeing this on social media, like, how did that make you feel that people now were like, let these women go out there and perform?
Those are the spurts of moments that you just go, wow, okay. I hope this sticks for a while. It gets the attention, and everything is progress, right? So I knew what was happening from what Vince told me. It's in my book, by the way. I knew what was happening in the transition that was going to happen. And so I was ecstatic on the inside because I knew what was going on and what he wanted. And sure enough, it happened. You know, they got rid of the Divas title and went back to what worked, which was the women's. You know, it's in my book. I can't tell you. But anyway, it worked. Yeah, I was very, very excited.
So let's have some fun. How's about we take Alundra Blayze from 1995, put her in the teleporter, and we bring her here to 2023. You're offered a contract from WWE and AEW. So Kobe Majors here in Texas wants to know, what company does Alundra Blayze in her prime go to?
To me, just because of my old ways and thinking, because I've been there and experienced it, I mean, of course, my choice would be WWE, because you can't touch WWE. It is mega. It always will be. And unless somebody comes in, a conglomerate, buys up the company and screws it up and tries to do something with it, it's a mega. You cannot touch this machine. I don't care. Right. And so everybody would, you know, a lot of people say, oh, I don't never want to go to WWE. I don't want to try that. I ain't doing that, blah, blah, blah. But I know deep down inside, it'd be great to point at that flag and go and be in WrestleMania one time. I mean, that is the platform of all platforms. That is bigger than Super Bowl or equivalent to it, right? And speaking of Super Bowl, what jersey do you got on?
Oh, this is a Raiders jersey.
It was what? A Raiders?
Yeah.
Oh, go Vikings. Let me tell you, oh my God, I am a JJ girl, and oh my God.
Just so you know, I'm not the biggest football fan. This was just in my closet. So.
Okay. So I just got done working out, so thank God you can't smell me, but I look good.
I wanted to mention Cody Rhodes because he was someone that came from AEW and went to WWE for that very reason. Like you said, there is no other place like WrestleMania.
There isn't. And I think that people should be able to go to different federations and check things out without having the door closed on them. Right. Why? We get to send our resumes into different jobs in real life. Why can't we do that with other federations without people turning your nose? So I think you should be able to experience everything you can, but I sure in the hell would want to experience WWE and make sure you make your mark and do a great job.
Also, real quick, I know you heard about the sale rumors of WWE being sold.
The who?
The sale
for sale.
Yeah, like, what was your reaction to all that craziness?
The only thought I had was, if Vince is going to sell, what is a billionaire going to do with another couple billion? I don't know.
Right? That's a good question.
I mean, really, you already got billions. You know? Oh, well, start a new one.
All right. So what female wrestlers do you like watching today, if you have any?
I like all of them. I can't just pick one because they are so talented. This is my style. This is my wrestling, my style back in my day. So it's great to see it finally here, you know, and seeing women kick ass and doing their things. And so I enjoy it. I actually sit down and I watch a full match or two or three. And I can't believe them. I mean, they're putting themselves out there. Yeah. They're putting themselves out there. They're gigging. They've got longer matches, but I don't think there was, I think there was one maybe that I know of. There might be a couple independents, but I know I had an hour-long match, and I would love to see women have at least 20-minute matches to see what they're really made out of too. So we're going to get the best out of women if they can cut the promo, do the verbiage, do their thing, walk out to the ring and have a match. And then that's what we're going to be able to see if they're able to tell that story to be able to have a full card.
Wow. I'm going to twist your arm a little bit.
No.
I got to ask, like,
Okay.
again, prime Alundra Blayze.
Mm.
If you had a chance to fight one female wrestler from any company, who would it be?
So if it's for a retirement match, I'm just going to be honest. I would say that it would have to be somebody that could carry my ass because I'm older. I still have it. I could go. However, if I were to trip and bump my head and forget, I need somebody that knows the ring, that is seasoned, that knows psychology, that could carry my ass to the finish.
And who would that be for you?
Well, someone that knows what all of that is.
Okay. How about I suggest somebody and you say yes, why not?
No, I won't.
Okay.
No. Maybe it's in my book.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
No. Whatever. Hey, it's great promotion, but anyway.
Yeah, it's fun. I imagine like a prime Alundra Blayze versus a Charlotte Flair would be.
A lot of people say that, and a lot of people would love to see it. Absolutely.
I think Charlotte's the modern day Alundra Blayze, honestly, if I'm being real with you.
Wow. A lot of people say that. And she's, definitely more gorgeous. I shouldn't say more gorgeous. She's gorgeous. However, I don't know. There's a couple that I would love to wrestle.
I guess we'll read the book for that, right?
You read the book. Maybe it's in there.
You were at the Raw 30th anniversary show. What was that experience like for you?
It was an honor to be called. They did call me like a month or two before that and asked me to go. And then like 3 weeks before they said, oh, schedule changed. And I'm used to that because they always do. They change it a month ahead, 3 weeks, 2 nights before, and the night. They always change the card. So it was like, you can't take it personal. You're like, okay. And then 2 nights before, Blayze, can you still come? I'm like, what? Oh my gosh. Let me see. And then, yeah. And so, you don't know going in and you kind of negotiate beforehand and what are we doing? And they're like, we're just going to have you play poker. And I'm like, I don't know how to play poker. He's like, Blayze, it's scripted. And I'm like, okay, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
But that's interesting that you said plans were changed because one set of females, the Bella twins, who were supposed to be there, didn't end up showing up. And they took umbrage with this, went on Instagram and ranted about it. And that got a trend going on Twitter. WWE women deserve better. I don't know if you saw what they said, but what was your reaction to it if you did?
Well, women deserve better. Maybe people felt that there should have been, a handful of women legends there. Maybe that's what that was. However, my thought when I did see a little bit of that, I thought I saw it like afterwards, I saw it after and I'm like, well, what is all of this? And I'm thinking, well, basically I was the only woman legend there. And that was an honor. I thought maybe they'd be praising that to, and have one of their later, peers there. But I didn't see any of that. And if they were so upset, why wouldn't they say, why did not Blayze have better than just a poker game? You know what I'm saying? So It goes both ways.
So
I guess to have one there is great, but and then it could have been more than a poker game. Why not say something like that?
I think the other controversy that people are talking about is what happened with Mandy Rose. Like you said, you work with NXT, so I'm assuming you had a chance to talk to Mandy before she was released because she put out risky photos of herself on Fan Time. And many fans felt that she was unjustly terminated. What was your reaction to the news when Mandy Rose was released?
Mandy is a full-grown woman, and she has her own choices in life. Repercussions are a choice. It comes from your choices in life. So her doing what she did, she knew going in. So if it was in her contract and it was okay for her to do, then who gives a crap, right? And or if it wasn't, then she knew better in her contract that she shouldn't have, and then knew that the repercussions were coming. But okay, it was her choice. Why is it such a big deal? I mean, the woman seems happy, she's happy, and isn't that what's important?
Currently she's a millionaire because that's how much she made on Fan Time from doing all of this.
Yeah. Well, that was her choice,
Right.
and if her fans, support her, then they should support her. And that's to each their own, man. Why do we even care what other people are doing in their own time and criticize them? I'm sorry, but are we all perfect?
No.
No.
I'm not.
I sure in the hell am not. No.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit here and ridicule somebody by their choices. I just feel that I know what I'm able to do in my contract, so I know that I'm not going to do nudes, right? So,
Right.
but if I wanted to do them, I would negotiate them in my contract. Then there wouldn't be a problem. So, whatever. It's simple, people.
We all would like life to be a lot more simple, but unfortunately, it's not the case.
It's simple is what simple is. It's what you make out of it. You create your own destiny, basically. You create your own surroundings. If you don't like something, change it. You don't like your environment, get out. You don't like the people who are hanging around, move on. If something's uncomfortable, notice that feeling. That's that feeling we get inside. It's called intuition, and that's been my moneymaker my whole life.
Right.
My intuition's right on point. When some things ain't right, I feel it. I read the room, I get it, and I'm like, and I'm out.
You out?
I'm out if it ain't right. That's
Your
a good
happiness
shirt.
comes-
I'm out
your-
if it ain't right.
Your happiness comes first, and that's very important.
Absolutely. Integrity is everything. You can't never sell your integrity, man.
Wow. I would hate to end this interview, but we gotta close it out with this last question.
Yes.
When it's all said and done, what is one thing you want fans to remember you most for?
Well, it's in my book.
Oh, come on.
I had to say that.
We're bringing it full circle, ladies and gentlemen.
That's so good. I just couldn't help myself. Oh my God.
I love the
I'm just going to end it there. That's too good. Oh,
That's good.
Alyx, thank you so much, man. You've been great. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I wish you the best and much success. And thanks, everybody. To catch me, you can go to Madusa.com. Everything's on there.
Awesome. And you can also follow her on Twitter, Instagram. She's all over the place, for the record. And please, as we said, the link down below, get the book. She can't promote it enough. We haven't. If we haven't,
Alyx, it's in the book.
Is in the book. Hashtag is in the book. Thank you.
Yes.
So much. Wow, Alundra Blayze on my channel. Guys, let me know how you feel about that interview. It was very fun. It was a pleasure to have Alundra Blayze, aka Madusa, on the channel. Give me your thoughts. Other than that, do all the YouTube things. Like the video, subscribe, and click that bell to catch all my content when it comes out. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and I'll catch you guys next time right here in Alyx's world. A place that is, was, and forever will be a safe space for wrestling fans like you. Peace.